International diversification is no longer a privilege reserved for institutions or the ultra-wealthy. It's a strategic necessity in navigating currency volatility, market risks and long-term financial growth. Yet, for too long, offshore investing has been hindered by various socio-economic barriers. This week on Business Q&A, I'm joined by the Executive of Trading at Nedbank Private and Wealth, Meintjes, to discuss how local businesses can engage with global markets. Grant, thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, Grant, you talk about a quiet revolution in the global investment landscape. What do you mean by that, and how is it affecting South African investors?
Yeah, I think the South African investors used to be very complex to get access to offshore investing. It used to be relatively expensive, getting money offshore and the likes. And attached to that is the decline of the South African stocks that South Africans have access to. In the last 10 years, the listed shares on the South African Stock Exchange have decreased by 240 shares. So that leaves clients less than 300 shares to invest in. Also, what's happened with the growth in internet and access to information, instant gratification, clients want access to these new industries, these new segments, these new growth opportunities, and unfortunately, they're not coming from the South African market. So through over the last couple of years, we've spent a lot of time and effort in trying to build platforms and accessibility for clients to now participate into these international listed shares, exchange-traded funds, mutual funds, etc.
Now, offshore investing is often felt out of reach for many South Africans. How's Nedbank making this space more accessible?
Yeah, I think it used to be piles of documents that you needed to sign, etc., fill in forms. So what we've done is we've digitized the onboarding process for individuals. So from start to finish, you fill in a few important information through our online portal, and then you apply for the account, and generally within 2 days, the account has been opened. In addition to that, you are now facing Nedbank as your counterparty. So as part of a big global bank or a big South African bank, you have some security in who you're facing as your client. And then as a bank being part of a bank, we're also an authorized dealer. So we have the ability to externalize your funds that you deposit with us. You don't have to go through to separate places or separate people to externalize your funds. And in addition to that, we've all put this on one platform. So you have one login to our portal where you can trade anything listed locally. And as I mentioned, now you have access to trade anything listed internationally, from exchange-traded funds, equities, as well as mutual funds. So effectively, you have access on our platform from the sunrise and sunsets from Australia to New York and Toronto, effectively.
Okay, so that's all about trust, but you've also highlighted cost efficiency as a cornerstone of this new approach. Why is that so critical?
If you think about cost, if you take it one step back and you say, listen, how do, the seventh wonder of the world is compound interest and compound growth. So you could just imagine the detractor of fees on the future growth of your portfolio. So we've come in and we've offered our clients, through our connections with our international partners, a really cost-effective way of entering the market. So I don't have to, you can go to our website to see what the actual fees are, but it's really competitive as well. In addition to that, if you take into account, if you trade some of these, they are referred to as actively managed ETFs, their total expense ratio is generally around a third of the same type of ETF in South Africa. So not only is the entry price important in terms of the cost, but the ongoing fee of that investment is also very important. So you could just imagine, if you're paying a third of the fees over a 10 or 20 year period on your investment, how that growth would have been affected by that effective cost.
Grant, education seems to be a strong theme in your strategy. And how is this shaping the future of wealth management, this issue of education and making sure everything is understood, but also in a developmental way, understanding from an education perspective how investing works?
Yeah, so we've spent a lot of time on research and training for our clients. So because we form part of a bigger wealth management business, we also manage assets on behalf of clients, so discretionary management. So that comes with having to do research on specific shares. So we have a long list of local and international shares where we do the research on. We make it available to our clients. And it goes back to that saying, teach a person to fish and they will feed themselves for their life. No, the same thing happens here. If we teach you and we educate you on specific shares or sectors, it makes it more convenient and more informative for you to make an investment decision. Not only do we have the platform, but we've got 3 regional offices in South Africa that forms part of this solution. That means you've got access to 14 JSE registered traders that you can give a phone call, get their opinion on certain aspects, ask them pertinent questions around specific stocks, because they have access to all of the information as well. So you can then make an informed decision around what you are going to invest your money in.
Grant, finally, how does a bank like Nedbank, for instance, balance digital self-service these days, which is a big thing in the world of trading, and balance that with the need for personalized advice, the one-on-one and the good old handshake?
Yeah, I think the market's moved a lot, and the younger the investors are, the more self-service they want. So we have definitely developed our solutions to fit those needs. But and we call it self-assisted trading. But you've touched on it, that staff-assisted trading, that ability to phone a stockbroker still remains key to our long-term growth. Yes, we want to digitize a lot of our solutions, and everything we have that you can get through phoning a stockbroker is available on a digital channel. But yes, as human beings, we like to talk to someone. We want to get some confirmation, affirmation that what we're thinking is correct, and it's not just a conversation around the weekend braai around a specific share and how someone has done. So we offer those people are qualified traders and authorized by the JSE to give you some opinions and some factual information, or assist you with a way or means to get that for you to make a decision. So it's a fine balance, but we've managed over the last number of years to cater for both of those, and ensuring that the solution that you as the client then chooses suits your needs.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thanks, Grant. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity.
That was Grant Meintjes, Executive of Trading at Nedbank Private Wealth, exploring how these dynamic shifts are redefining wealth management and offshore investing. Until next time, goodbye.